Up with a little more inspiration, as well as a little more really good context about how VA thinks about value and innovation. And so we appreciate you taking a little bit of a break, and we want to give it up for the panel here, all of these leaders. We're going to hear about some awesome stuff, and so I'll turn it right over to Indra to kick us off. Thank you, Indra.
Thank you, Nate, for such a quick introduction, and welcome everyone. I'm very sure you guys are so excited to be here, and I did go to everybody's room and pull you out from there, so apologize for that. But I will not say I promise, but I'm very sure you will get a lot of good insight, because some of you were interested in hearing from the really leadership, whether how much it had a value for them also for doing these type of the events. So you will hear yourself from the leadership, not from the VA, but also from the private industry who is collaborating and making this event happen. My name is Indra Sandal. I'm the Chief of Innovation at Tampa VA Hospital, and also the Director for the Veterans Health MIT Hacking Medicine 2024. And there's a reason why I said 2024, because we are going to do for 3 years. 2024. We do have all the collaborators. If you are hearing from us from yesterday, Microsoft, MIT, Vision 8, and Tampa and VHA Innovation Ecosystem. So we are going to hear from the leadership of all those collaborators who are making this event happen. So all of you know why we are here. We are here for hacking, but also you know that how we collaborated by public-private collaboration to make this happen. And in this public-private collaboration, we had a collaboration with the VHA Innovation Ecosystem. So you'll hear from the Kit, who is the Executive Director of VHA Innovation Ecosystem, from Mark, who is from Microsoft, and also from MIT Hacking Medicine, Freddie. And we have another partner, also the Tampa General Hospital CEO, who is also our partner in Tampa Bay area. So without any ado, let's dig in and then let them introduce themselves so that you will hear from them. Starting from Mr. Goins.
Hi, my name is Greg Goins. I'm the Visit 9 Network Director. That encompasses Kentucky and Tennessee and a few pieces of some other states. I'm here primarily as a executive sponsor, but I'm also here as a representative of the Southern States Network Consortium. What that constitutes is pretty much all the southern states, more or less around the Ohio Valley area, down here to Florida and then the Caribbean for Vision 8. We try to do things in a consistent, standardized way and learn from one another. So we're here as part of that partnership underneath that consortium. Very good to be here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm Kit Teague. I'm Executive Director for VHA Innovation Ecosystem. My office is a national office that helps facilitate healthcare innovation across Veterans Health Administration through a number of different portfolios and programs, and we're one of the main sponsors for this event.
Hi, good afternoon. David Isaacs. I'm the Network Director for Vision 8, also known as the VA Sunshine Healthcare Network. So one of the regional networks responsible for the healthcare systems in southern Georgia, also with most of Florida from Tallahassee to the east, and then the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So great to be here.
So my name is Freddie Nguyen. I'm a physician scientist fellow at MIT in the Office of Innovation. I'm also the director of the Calla Scholars Program and former co-director of MIT Hacking Medicine. So really here to give you all the hackathon experience as part of the hackathon team here, but great to be a collaborator with the VA for many, many years. So.
I'm John, excuse me, good evening everybody. I'm John Kors, the President and CEO of Tampa General. I'm also a research fellow at the University of South Florida in the Mumma College of Business. I'm delighted to be here. I'm the private side of the public-private partnership. And I want to say one thing to you in my introductory remarks. I'm really impressed that you are here spending time looking at ways to disrupt the way you deliver care to our veterans, because there is no more important population than the men and women that have served us and sacrificed for us. And the fact that you're doing this, you all should be applauded for this. This is outstanding, and it's a real honor to be with you tonight.
Hello, I'm Mark McDonald. I'm the Microsoft General Manager for U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And we are here today in close collaboration with VA's OINT, and specifically the Enterprise Cloud Solution Office. We have been enabling the use of generative AI for all of the participants here through Microsoft Azure OpenAI, and have also been supporting other technologies here for all of the hackers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for the introduction. So let's start talking about the public-private collaboration and how it's impacting our patient care and overall the health outcome in the healthcare organization. So I want to Kit to a little bit give us an insight, considering you are the program office of the VHA side, who's running the innovation across the country. So give us a little bit idea that how these collaborations are literally changing the patient outcome.
So I'd like to start by, I guess, sharing a statement that I think should be the mantra for events like this. Collaboration is the new competition. And I'll say that again, collaboration is the new competition. And another way to say that is collaboration is how we, and I say, the collective we, VA, the Tampa Bay community, America in general, remains competitive in solving the challenges of tomorrow. Without all of us kind of, coming together around these challenges, we're not going to be able to solve them. I mean, they're just so insurmountable, especially in healthcare. VHA Innovation Ecosystem, one of our foundational principles is basically, collaboration, bringing external partners in to help us solve problems. We've got 50 collaborations that we're doing across the country. This is just one of them, and you're going to hear about a few of them through some of the other panelists today. What we've learned through the collaborations is basically this. VA is not an island. We cannot solve all of the veterans' problems by ourselves. We need folks from academia. We need folks from industry. We need folks from nonprofits. We need veteran service organizations. And we need entrepreneurs like yourself to engage in events like this to help us solve these problems. And that's the main goal of events like this, is bringing everybody together with their talents, their passions, to solve the veterans.
Thank you so much, Kit. And I'm very sure most of you are 50%, as we know, that are from the VA. And to knowing a little bit about the VHA innovation ecosystem, it might be a good idea not only for today, but once you are gone from here, when you go back to your organization, thinking about that, how you can do more innovation, how can you build on your idea. VHA Innovation Ecosystem Program Office is a very good platform and a foundation for this type of thing. So thank you so much, Kit, for sharing that. So let's little bit dig in the Tampa Bay area, because you all are in Tampa, and we are very happy to have you all. So we do have, like I mentioned, Tampa General Hospital CEO John, and also our network director from Vision 9. And let's talk a little bit with John, that shares a little bit of more like a collaboration, because you have several collaborations going on. But more insight from the VA side, and what are the collaborations which you are doing at this time, and what's the future? What's the vision for that?
So at the surface, so starting with sort of the easier work. I mean, it's not easier, but it's sort of more relevant. We clinically collaborate every day. So our physicians, our faculty, our physician scientists, they're moving back and forth from the VA to Tampa General almost every day. our residents, our fellows are doing the exact same thing. The ability to cross-pollinate clinically is really important because there are things that you do, and you do a lot of these things really well, and we can learn from you. And you can learn from private industry. You can learn from us. You know, we're a private, not-for-profit healthcare system that's academically and research oriented because our partner is the University of South Florida. So there's this element of clinical integration and collaboration that happens. Sort of then, if you go another level down and you get into sort of some of the deeper work, we're starting to sort of explore aspects of, you know, processes and systems and how you do your work. I was sharing a story earlier when we were sort of waiting and practicing. I come from Boston. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I spent the first 10 years of my career at the Massachusetts General Hospital and at the Harvard Medical School, where I kind of bounced between the two. When we were starting to deploy the PACS, so we were moving from the analog world to the digital world, we learned that from the VA. You were doing that first, and you were doing it really, really well. What we were able to do, we were able to take a lot from the work you were doing in DC, and we were able to move a lot quicker than you typically can move because you're the federal government and it takes time, it's slower. For good reasons, quite frankly, for legitimate reasons, and in some cases for not so good reasons. And we, by the way, private industry is challenged with the same types of things. We just probably don't have the layers of bureaucracy that a federal government has because you're so much bigger than we are. But that idea of collaborating and innovating around new technologies, new innovations is a really important one. We're about to deploy, and we were sharing this a moment ago, we are about to deploy at TGH in Tampa, ambient listening in our physician offices. And we're doing it in tranches of 250 doctors at a time. The first 250 physicians that will be using this technology happen in the next week or two. I was texting away with my innovations team saying, hey, I'm here tonight, give me a little bit more information on this. And they said, yeah, we're about a week away from pulling the trigger on that and starting to see it. There's a great opportunity for the VA to come over and sort of embed themselves into our experience and see how we're doing, what's working, and quite frankly, what's not working. Remember, you can learn probably more from your failures than you can from your successes, if you think about it that way, right? You've got to embrace failure. You have to actually celebrate failure, and you then have to, because when you do that, when you embrace it, you celebrate it, you demystify it, and you can learn from it, right? You can actually learn from it. So we're excited to be doing that work with you, or hopefully with you. Finally, you're sitting in the middle. By the way, you're sitting in one of the most technologically advanced medical schools in the country right now. It's pretty brand new. It's about 4 or 5 years old, but it's also in the middle of our medical and research district. Between TGH and USF, we have been building over the last 4 or 5 years over about a 1,500 acre kind of parcel of property that kind of across the city. We've been building this medical and research district where we're bringing in new technologies, new innovations, new partnerships, new collaborations, because physicians, scientists, administrators, people that are interested in what you're interested in want to be in close proximity of each other so real collaboration can happen. Bringing the VA into that ecosystem that we're building is critically important because you have so much to offer, and together we can build a stronger and more resilient health system, not just for our veterans, but for all of the citizens in the United States. And that's the journey that we're on together.
Thank you so much, John, and I think that you mentioned so correct about the integration of the VA in that. And we are working on creating our new National Center of Innovation in Tampa in the Florida area, where we are focusing, as I mentioned yesterday, not on the people development, but technology along with the community development. So the community is what we think is the focus where we can bring the people and technology together. So well said.
One last piece, for those of you, as you're thinking about how to become more innovative or push innovation, be curious. You know, create an environment around you, whether it's at your unit, your department, your organization, whether you're part of the VA or you're a private entity sitting in the room. Curiosity drives the idea of innovation and creativity. It really does. Being curious and being open-minded and being collaborative is critically important, because you're absolutely right. We will solve the healthcare challenges that you have and that we have, but we will do that together and in partnership. There's no other way.
Thank you, John. What about you, Mr. Isaac?
Sure. So, you know, one of the great things about the VA specifically is really our historic and traditional relationships with our academic affiliates. So that's something that's gone back many years, and it's been very successful for the VA. And just hearing John talk a little bit about how now that kind of, in many ways, that academic affiliate connection is what is also bridging the gap with Tampa General Hospital, for instance, between the VA and building those relationships. Because, you know, one of the things that I often think about in the VA, especially across our network, because we have 7 different healthcare systems and they all have really strong academic affiliations, is really thinking about how we can model some of the things at least we're learning in Tampa at those other areas, and really seeing how that can be a kind of a force multiplier in the connecting to more industry-based areas. Because one of the things I often think about, especially when I think about what's best for veterans, how do we bring more innovation into our system, is really being exposed to more and more of those partnerships. So I think that's just a great example, I think, of what's happening in Tampa, not only with the medical district, but also with the recognition that, one, we actually share a lot of resources at the human level, but also as we're attracting some of the scarce talent out there that is going to help us drive this innovation, is we want it to really benefit the entire healthcare industry, because ultimately, obviously for us in the VA, that impacts the veterans that we care for. So the VA has a lot to bring, I think, to the table, especially when it comes to information and data. I was sharing with the group with the longevity of medical health records that we have for entire lifetimes of patients, that can be something that, from a research and value-added perspective, that innovators can use to help us solve very complex problems, even if it's down to what type and when to deliver certain medications based on data sets like that. So I think that's just a great example.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isaac. I think so we can have a follow-up question, what Mr. Isaac mentioned just now about the data. I'm very sure that this word seems very familiar with you from yesterday, that how you guys would freak out when you came into the room and like, okay, you have to use these data sets. No clue how you are going to use it. So we do have Mark here. We really want him to talk a little bit more on the AI tool when you were presenting yesterday, and then how it changed over 24 hours of a period of time, and how you see that when you were observing the hackathon event yesterday. Talk a little bit about that.
I think we've seen remarkable results. I mean, when you polled people at the start of the sessions to ask what their backgrounds were, and you had such a varied group of people. Not everybody here has a background in computer science or IT. Many people don't know anything about technology other than the use of their phone or their computer.